Okay. Okay. Hello, Sebastian. I am just trying to get myself set up here. Oops. Let's see. Um, Hi, guys. So, thank you for coming. Today is Psychic Chat Day. It's going to be me, I'm Jennie Friedman, and Amy Pesentino, Truth Warrior, who I think has just joined. So let me see if I can get up here and okay, Amy, did I get you up here? Yes. I, can you hear me? I see you. I hear you. Can you hear me?
What is going on with this thing?
Can you hear me? I hear you. Okay, Sebastian's saying thumbs up, but Amy doesn't look like she hears me. So, do you have earphones that you got to put in? Or do I need to do something to turn on your sound? Mute their microphone, make them a producer. Okay, maybe that helps. I made you a producer. Can you hear me? I see you. Can you wait? She's on. She's here. I know, Sebastian. Thank you. I don't know, though, if she can. Sebastian joined the show. She joined the show. How? Why can't she hear
Can you
me?
hear me? I can't hear anything.
Yes. Yes. I hear.
Okay.
Do you
All
hear me
right, now
now?
I'm on. I was so confused by this whole thing.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's
Okay, so what's
new.
going on?
Well, it's so funny because I apologize. I just got your message and I was like, oh, oops, sorry, I did not see the message before. But I'm glad you joined me today because um, I'm learning the tech too, and they just redid the platform to make it more user friendly. So I'm hopeful that this will be getting easier and easier. I was just saying today's I called it psychic chat because you are a psychic. Like whenever we talk about psychic things. And so, yeah, I don't know. This is one of my favorite people to talk to in the world, and we just always crack up and have a really good time. The thing about this, Amy, when you're on here, is like Sebastian's here, and see he's like making his thumbs up or saying hi or whatever. So you can see down in the studio, there's people can join. You can have up to 12 people in the room, and you can have 4 people up video and so it can be a real nice collaboration kind of a thing. And
Wow.
I know this is our new thing. It's also simulcasting to my YouTube. So hello, everybody on YouTube. This is Truth Warrior on YouTube, Amy Pasentino. So yeah, so I had asked my cards, what should we talk about, right? And Big Sunshines, I was getting, we should talk about second chances and how our journeys take us. It's your choice what you're going to do because you just changed your whole thing and then you changed it back. I did the same thing, kind of similar. And I'm like, "Oh, that would come up as a good thing to talk to because I think that people when they're on their journey in life and they go one way and especially 3D, right? We think, "Oh, you have to stick to one thing." And that's not 4D, 5D stuff.
That's interesting. I never thought of it that way because I was thinking, like, why did I change back? And like, why do I have this wishy-washy, like I keep going back and forth on a lot of things. It's very odd.
Yeah, and the card I got said choice.
Uh-huh.
So it's about making your choice and choosing to compromise, which has to do with collective energy, which is what I was just watching your video on YouTube, and you were talking about the collective, and that is where we're at, guys. I think we have to compromise with one another. We have to compromise with ourselves.
Yeah, I just did the New Earth reading, and it was talking about like we're coming together as a collective right now. So it's like we're meeting. It almost feels like we're meeting like halfway in some way too. So
Yeah, right.
that could be part of it, perhaps.
Well, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of see like meeting halfway. Okay, so if my interest is like, I'm an ADHD coach and I'm a light walker, self-proclaimed. So I'm like a light worker, part light worker, part Jedi Knight, because that's my energy. Like, I feel like that's what really, I think, how I found you too, because you were a truth warrior and there's this real fighting for justice thing that you were doing and
Yeah.
still do, but you have expanded. Then you expanded your channel into Soul Path Journey. And I know that you work closely with your guides. I'm kind of more like, um, I'm out in left field. I'm like doing this. I get intuitive hits. I don't hear the voice that's talking to me as clearly as I believe you do. But then when I look, I'm like, no, I'm being guided. It's a different kind of guide.
Yeah, I think the truest guidance is usually your intuition, and that's how it's coming in through the channel, really. That's kind of the truest form, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting time right now, because everything is a little foggy.
Yeah. Well, and also, just so everyone also knows, I mean, Amy's really been a wonderful mentor to me and actually let me know that my third eye was open. I didn't even know that. So, like, if you have questions, psychic questions, like you're like, I don't know. I think I am. I don't know. Then, someone like Amy is someone to work with because of her clarity. She's got a clarity. She's tapped in a way that I think is a true gift.
Oh,
That
thank
is,
you.
yeah, I think that people benefit from working with you. But that's how I benefited is realizing having more confidence in what I am able to tap into, that I'm not crazy, and that a lot of my intuitive hits are coming from a place of like, you know, it doesn't make sense here in the 3D world. It doesn't. I'm often like, I don't know why I know that. I just know. And I'm right. I mean, like, it turns out to be right. I don't even want to say I'm right as much as like I'm just tuned in.
Hmm.
And that's just another part of me. So I was like going back to like second chances, like giving yourself a second chance to be more than a one-dimensional, creature.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, there are these different facets of ourselves, right? And so it's interesting how we define ourselves on the earth plane, and maybe we are reshaping that in some way right now.
Well, I challenge everyone to think about it at least, right?
Yeah.
Because if you limit yourself and say no, no, like for example, if you're going to be truth warrior who does a lot of political tarot and justice and things like that, then are you saying no to Soul Path Journey? Or are you layering it? Like, how do you see the two? How do you compromise with yourself, right?
It feels different, Truth Warrior. It feels like it's a hybrid version of what it used to be, actually. And
Mm.
it feels like it comes in for the collective in forms of justice and government when it needs to. And then when it doesn't need to, it doesn't. And if it comes in the form of alien species messages, then that's what it needs to come in as, you know?
Oh my gosh, yes. So that's how I feel about C and ADHD, right? When I started the C and ADHD brand, this was like in 2014 or 15, and it took off as a podcast, and it was all about ADHD only, and all the challenges with ADHD, and had all the guests had an ADHD story, and we shared stories, and people always felt like the takeaways were, "Oh my gosh, I'm not alone," or you know, it was all positive feedback. And then I got burned out. So I was like, I didn't think I'd resurrect it. However, I got the I got the message that I should resurrect this, but in a hybrid way. And I'm realizing now the way because my brand was spiritualish and still is spiritualish.tv. And it's on YouTube and it's a website. And my coaching is through that. But the way the two meet, where they meet is in perception. And so if the show needs to be a little more spiritual-ish, like today with you and talking about things, then it's going to be. And if it's really getting in the weeds with maybe some ADHD strategies, because that's what's going on, then it's going to be. Because it is about perception. I mean, at least from like to me, it's not really different. I just think it's going to present differently to people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely because I keep checking in with the energy because I also wanted to work on the love project, but the love project, it felt like it has hit a lot of blocks and I can't sit here and deny the blocks of it. So it must just not be ready, yet for the collective or something. So I'm honoring that. But yeah, when we look at these businesses, do they can we look at them as like a strategy of business, like in the old ways of looking at them now? Or are we looking at them from the new earth perspective, which is just the energies are not right for them and it's okay. And we just kind of like are not focused on this like capitalistic kind of scheduling and how much money the business is bringing in.
Clearly, as the show started at 3:05 today, and and I'm also realizing that I got to plug my phone in. Do you have your cards with you?
Yeah,
Could
always.
you can you entertain the troops for a minute while I go get my plug? I'll be right back.
The troops. Well, I guess I'll just get a message real quick on this because it's been bothering me. I'm not going to sit here and say it hasn't been bothering me because I want to know why things won't come in this finite way anymore. It bothers me, but I also have to honor where the energy is coming up and where the resistance is coming in. So I am getting like a message just about everything is kind of like a hybrid right now. It's a hybrid. That's interesting. It's almost like we're becoming a hybrid species in a way, and then it's affecting the energies and the collective and the pro quo and everything else that's going on, including our business strategies per se. I also think, Jenny, it's something about how we define things, like to more define things loosely, it feels like, and not be so like they're like, one way with
Yeah,
everything.
so rigid. Yes.
So rigid, which is like typically I think how our focus has become in many businesses. And it's a nice idea to simplify and to go with one focus, but maybe these focuses need to be altered and tailored to a different I don't know, energy.
Yeah, no, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Think about this, right? If we put it in a political perspective for a minute, what's happened is people are entrenched in a singular camp, right? Whatever that is. And there's no meeting in the middle. How can you work with someone if you can't meet in the middle?
Right.
So maybe it's going to have to start with individuals like us. And like if this is resonating, if you're watching this and this is resonating with you, how can you expand your point of view, right? To maybe be more inclusive of more of your interests. Maybe it is maybe something is about 2, 3, 4 things. Maybe it doesn't make perfect messaging sense.
Yeah.
Maybe it stops being about messaging and it starts being more authentic sharing.
I think that's more the
Yeah.
collective energy is the sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the sharing of knowledge and then help, like that's the shift, Jenny. That's it. It's where can I help out right now?
Yes.
That's the shift. That's why the businesses won't get pigeonholed, correct? It won't work. I was just realizing that because now it's about the collective. It's not singular anymore. It's not about us anymore. So we have to take us out of the business.
Well, see, it's funny because seeing ADHD, I wasn't in the business. It was all about the other person. And so I had to kind of like go and kind of learn about me. And it was a very strange journey to be on because I thought, as an adult, you think you know yourself. But when Spirit's telling you, no, you you're not even in this business. You're made it all about the other person. I was like, well, isn't that a good thing? No, it's exactly what you're talking about, but just the opposite. It's no
Uh-huh.
better. You can't make it all about you, and you can't make it all about the other person. This
Right.
is, oh my gosh, yes. This is unity
It's
consciousness.
unity consciousness. It is exactly that. Yes.
Yes. Because when you have one energy like you and one energy me, and that energy, the third energy that's created from the togetherness, that's the thing that takes off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. That's the third energy, and I'm saying it's the third. It's not really the third energy, but you know what I'm saying? The thing that's when the forces are combined, that unity is its own unique energy.
And how that happens is you have to drop the ego.
Mm. Hmm.
Like even just talking in terms of even business partnerships. Okay, so the business isn't taking off because one person's seeing it one way, the other seeing it the other. You have to drop the ego and just do what's right for the collective.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
We've
just an
cracked the
example of
code.
it. That's why I think me and you work so well together, because I don't think we fall into the ego of caring how we look, or like, we're not so focused on like
Clearly.
we're not we're not focused on how we're branded, I guess, and like what we fit into. We just kind of just trust our intuition. So I think that's why it's like naturally we are drawn to each other, and then like we create and we have good conversations and good content for the collective.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's, ah. No, I'm laughing because a lot of times I have a couple videos that on YouTube that Amy's come on with me, and I mean it's funny how we get to the down to it pretty quick.
Yeah. We do. We figure
Yeah.
it out. And I was watching an interview the other day, and I have to say, I had some issues with one of the people who was asking the questions because of the demeanor of it and the focus of the energies. It wasn't allowing the interviews to flow correctly, in my view, and it was hard to watch for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hi, Akari.
So I think that's like
Yeah.
something important to note, is that not only is it like we can see it too, like we can see the uncomfortableness now, you know?
I'm trying to think of an example if I can even think of what you
Like
well,
let's
yeah,
just do a very like generic version of like somebody who's famous in interviewing, like Anderson Cooper, for example. If Anderson Cooper lies more in his ego and less in his heart or in his intuition, it would make it harder for us to watch the interview, because he'd be rubbing the interviewee the wrong way, and we wouldn't want to watch it
right,
because there's no
right.
unity consciousness
Uh,
in the interview.
right. Well, so this also, I mean, this goes back to, I mean, dealing with frequency, and the collective frequency is just different. It's just different than where we've been. That's so fascinating and exciting. I think people have to kind of take a step back and like relax into it. That would be my advice because
Yeah, because
you
I
can
think of
drive
all the
yourself
meetings in
nuts.
corporations and things that go on, right? Like how stringent they are with a lot of things, and it's just like we've already been seeing a lot of the shift. A lot of the younger millennials just quit their jobs and move back in with their family. They don't want to be a part of that energy, you know?
Exactly. Wait, I just see Akari says hi. Akari, do you want to come up and speak with us? You want to get up here on the camera? Because I can add you. This is that thing where you can have people jump up and join us. I think she's saying something.
That's pretty cool. Maybe I should do this for the angel tier. It's an interesting
Oh, the
concept.
people that will come out. Yeah, for sure.
For people who want to come on, they can come on, and then the people that don't, they don't have to.
We got, okay, Kari's laughing. So, and we also have Anthony joining us. Hello. And with Kari laughing, I'm assuming she said something. So let me see. She says a bunch of emojis. So I don't know. I don't, if you want to come up, tell us. That's otherwise okay. Hello, Anthony. so, so anyway, back to, I think one of the challenges then is going to be for people to be confident in the uncertainty, like
Yeah,
just to feel comfortable.
with
And
not knowing.
this
Yeah.
is going to be a really uncertain time, and
Yeah.
that that it's okay. It's okay to be uncertain, right?
When I think about it, I mean, there's this one girl that I follow on Instagram, and I wish I remembered her name, but she calls herself a millennial, I think. But I just posted her on my Instagram, and it's for a reason that I'm drawn to her. But she was just like, she doesn't buy in to the social norms of what we're supposed to be. Like she was saying, like, you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to get a degree, you can if you want to, but you don't have to put these absorbent, like this expectations on yourself. Like that's just what society did. You're okay as you are. Like that's what a lot of her
Is this
teachings
the girl that
are.
you were sending me? As she's vacuuming the snow, and she's saying,
Yes.
and you said she's an amphibian.
I said she's definitely from your planet because I don't think anyone from amphibian has like expectations on themselves in this lifetime. Like I really don't feel like it comes with the planet.
Well, that would explain a lot for me because I was someone who definitely, and everyone's like, oh, I have this driving force my whole life. I wanted X, right? I got no driving force. I got no plan. I'm like, no, that's not exactly my experience. Oh, so Akari says she's trying to figure out this whole thing and she's still listening. Okay, yeah. Um, tell, Conversation usually totally makes sense. And essentially, we get pushed to be everything but what brings us joy. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when you're in the wrong vibe. Like if you're not in joy, it, it's not good.
Well, it's like there was always these pressures. Like in one of my corporate jobs, I remember they gave me this role, and I had like three bosses, and then like one boss was out of the office for vacation, and I had all of his workload, and then they had me doing some kind of this like course that I had to do that was it was implied. I mean, every single person in my group had to do this course. And at the end of the day, I mean, they burnt me out. I mean, the expectations of what they had on me were just so high, so perfectionistic. And I couldn't like work under those circumstances. And, it was not a supportive environment, and it was very much run on this kind of capitalistic schedule because one of their clients was like a big box store. So it was just so unrealistic, but they made you feel like you were not up to par. Like,
Yeah.
who are they? And that's what we're questioning right now. Who are they to tell me?
Who are they?
Who are they?
Yeah.
You're not better than
Yeah.
me. So that's part of our awakening right now, is realizing that no one's better than you. I was extremely hardworking, and I was turning out, work all the time, but it wasn't like, they had these other standards that were impossible to me.
I found when I had my corporate job, I found myself doing so much busy work and it was so redundant. And I was thinking to myself, this is so stupid. And it was like, if there was some information, right? Oh, Jennie, take this information and make it look this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, now we need the same information this way. Okay, now put it this way, this way. And I was thinking to myself, because it was always this egoic, like, well, I want to see it this way. And someone else would go, well, I want to see it this way. And I was like, it's the same information, guys. Like, this is busy work. This is stupid. You can't be bothered to look at it maybe John's way because you always looked at it that way. Like that did not resonate with me at all.
Yeah, it was like a lot. It was
Mm.
like you have to get out this chart to all of the top tier people every Friday, and it has to, you have to have all. It's like, does anyone even read it? Does anyone care? Do they?
And do
Do
right
they
and
really
do
give a crap? How
Akari
many people
saying
are
she
actually
wonders what
reading
your
that
human
chart every Friday? I want to know.
Akari wants to know what your human design is. I haven't done her human design yet, Akari. We have to find out.
I have to run and get my charger real quick. Can I hop off
Yeah,
real quick? Okay, I'll be
yeah,
right
yeah,
back.
yeah. I'm gonna entertain the troops then with a reading. Let me
Okay,
see
I'll be
what
right
else.
back.
Let me see what else we can add to this conversation. So, what else can you tell us about unity consciousness, or in this conversation? So, structure is at the heart of this, with the challenge being. Oh, this goes back into the first reading I did before I started this, which was the second chance. So, this is about having a spiritual awakening that is disrupting structures, disrupting traditions. We are in the close. I mean, this is the close. This is the close of it's Wheel of Fortune, so it's the close of one cycle, guys. This is the end of a cycle, and it's the beginning of a new cycle. And there'll be challenges. And in the past, where you have mental clarity, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty. You're also going to see a lot of corruption come up. Just a lot of like not good stuff that we didn't see before is going to show up. And it's saying basically, here we are seeing the big picture. We're seeing a bigger picture because we're shining a light on everything. And what other people see? Other people are seeing like it's the sun clarified by the emperor. Like the light is being shown on all structures and who was in authority before, because right now it's turning into where collectively all of us will start to have our own authority, our own sovereignty. And it's interesting, right? So teamwork is in the final thing. Teamwork and blending, temperance, teamwork and temperance. So that's where we're at. This is, thank you. This is like, right now we're laying the groundwork. We're like on the front lines, Amy. We're on the front line, we're on the front lines of this whole thing, even though it's been coming for my entire lifetime, I think. Obviously, it's now. It's go time.
Go
This is
ahead.
it. Oh my gosh, what have we got going on here? So Kari says about what? Yes, she's saying yes. So, oh wow, I don't even know what to say to that. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, because it's interesting because like today I woke up and I was like, oh God, these energies are so heavy. And I was doing all this clearing, nothing I could do to clear them. Then I was like, what am I supposed to be focusing on today? I had like a list of things that were overwhelming me. And then I was like, kept saying prayers and trying to just get clarity. And when I finally got the clarity, it came back to do a collective reading on your channel for the collective, for the divine masculines and divine feminines. So that comes back into the unity consciousness, right? I was led right back to unity consciousness. It was not a me agenda today. It was not an agenda of
Yes.
anything that I was trying to get out in any way. It was about the collective. And that's what came through. That's what broke through today for me to get to
Yeah,
the other
you're
side.
still gonna have to do your laundry.
I know. I still want to do the bedding though. And
You can't. Unity consciousness does not mean you get out of doing your chores. Just
you still have your list of to-dos, but I did them more quickly than I thought. Like it came up by accident. Like I had to go to a store to get something and it was like it came in very naturally today. So we just have to tune into the natural rhythms of the day and know that it's going to come in how it comes in.
so that reminds me. Okay, so if you're watching this and you're like, that sounds great and all, but that's not where I'm at. I remember when I first got married. I wanted to go. I was working in a corporate job, and I wanted to go to the gym because I was trying to lose some weight. And my husband said, "You just have to tell your boss. Like, at lunchtime like I'm going to the gym. And I laughed so hard because that was an impossibility. There was no, excuse me, boss, I'm going to go do something for me while I'm on the clock. Like it was because I worked in one of those jobs where they just own you, and there was just no way. And if you're still in that environment, I think a conversation like this can be super frustrating because it was like when he said it to me, I was like, but that's not even a thing. Like, I can't even do that because that doesn't, I'm in this little box. They just, right. So what I would suggest is that maybe on your free time in the evenings or on the weekend, because this is what I did, right, is to start looking at your time differently, your me time, whatever, even if it's one day a week or a few hours, if you're busy with kids or what, like you do have a moment that comes and goes. And in that moment, like Amy just said, like, oh, this isn't really about me. This is actually, I'm going to do something else that's more value driven for others, right? That could literally create opportunities for you to get out of the situation you're in. Because I believe that's what happens. That's how the universe works, right? Like we're in the quantum field. The unified field is always knowing what's going on with you, knows what's available over there, and it will move the mountains for you. You don't have to do it. You just have to be open to allowing it to happen,
And like
which
you
is
said,
not
this is
easy.
very new. This is
Yeah.
new. What we're talking about right now is so we haven't really tested it out, have we? Right? We're in like the testing phase. Testing,
Yes,
testing.
you have to be brave and you have to say, I can't believe I'm going to do this a different way. And even if it starts off like, hey, if I always go to work by making a right out of my driveway to go to work, go left.
Yeah.
Go left and go around some other way, and your brain will get out of its little loop, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll start to, well, what happens literally technically is your brain will then say, oh, well, we don't know this pattern. So it'll shut up. That inner chatter just shuts up because now your brain goes, oh, let me seek new patterns, like what's going on. And you'll have a clearer head and a clearer, like, then you're not thinking, when you overthink, you're not thinking, you're just allowing. That's what I'm saying, to allow in. Akari says the quantum field of possibilities. Yes.
It
Yes. When
might
we
be a
think
new way
about
of
it,
how we manifest too. I've been getting this message that we may not manifest the way we used to with vision boards anymore. It might change over.
I'm very big right now into the manifestation coming from heart coherence. Like that whole, you can look that up. There's some people that do it for a living now. They talk about heart coherence, but instead of worrying about what you're doing, right? To just worry about who you're being. Who am I being? Am I being calm? Am I being in faith? Trust? Am I being in allowance mode? Am I being overthinking? Um, Rather than what you have to do, because I know a lot of like vision board, and I'm not talking down vision boards. I'm just saying that sometimes I know when I make a vision board, my mind's all, oh, I got to get magazines and I got to think about what I want to see. And
Yeah, it's
again,
like
I
a
want to,
pressure.
yeah, and the goals aren't very clear to me, right? I know how I want to feel more than I know what I want to be doing. And it's a space where I think we're opening up to that. However you want to feel, that'll bring in experiences that it'll match up. You may not see it now. It'll just come. It'll come. Trust
So
me.
it's kind of like what you're saying, Jenny. It's like when we get into balance internally, then we finally start to vibrate at almost like a different frequency that may allow for the opportunities to come in. I mean, that's really what it is. It's our internal
Yes.
frequency. Because I just got the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is like that yin and yang. Like that's that, like what you were talking about, like balancing it out.
Yeah. So if you can get out of, even if it's just to surrender, or what's the word I'm looking for? When you just pause, like hit a pause. If you
I feel
can't
like it
stop
is a
doing
little
something,
surrender, though. I do.
yeah, like just pause that. Like, I'm not saying don't do that, like, because that then creates resistance. Just if you can just say, oh, let me just put that on hold and let me try just sitting in how am I breathing is really good to do your,
Breathing
deep
is really
breathing
good. Mm-hmm.
and tune into, well, this is what I suggest in my group. I always tell people get into that happy place where you're so like I can do it right now. All I have to do is just imagine myself curling my toes with glee, like, and you naturally feel lighter. It's
Okay, that's your gift from Amphibian. Okay, that's your gift. That's your gift. You say
I
I have
didn't
gifts, you have gifts. That's definitely your gift.
I
I've
didn't
never
even have
heard
to
of that one. That's a
literally,
good one.
yeah, I didn't even have to literally curl my toes. I can just envision doing it and I get the feel, It's like that's it may be different for everybody, but that's mine. That's my happy spot. So you
I'm
can
just
do that.
saging, guys, just so you know, if anybody down there is wondering what's going on over here, I'm just saging.
Don't mind me. Yeah. I just am like clearing, like, I'm like, let me just jump up to here super fast. Like,
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Because the opportunities that you want do already exist. You don't literally have, was one of the big lies is that you have to create everything yourself. No, you don't. You don't. It exists. In fact,
Right.
it's arguable that there's no original thought on the planet. We're all tapped into the one source. So, you just have to tap in and tune in. Like, you don't have to go create. Like, it'll look different because it'll have your own thing to it, but like, you don't have to create stuff from scratch. Like, those days are kind of over. We've invented all kinds of things. And I mean, and if you're an inventor, great. But I'm saying for the vast majority of us, we're we don't need to bang our heads about being different. We need to really just step back and allow to be right, to be in a being place that's kind of a high frequency, and allow in all the stuff that exists on that frequency, on that plane, on that level. I mean,
I love
that's how
that.
I think. Yeah. You don't have to work so hard. I mean, you will work hard, but you'll be in joy because joy's up here. So it
Yeah,
won't
well,
seem
that's
like
very
you're working
aligned to
hard.
New Earth energy, which is a very much has like a stoner energy to it.
I'm digging that. I don't even get high, but like yeah, I believe it. Like, yeah.
It feels like you're on, an island energy.
Yes, it's island energy.
Like on
Oh,
a hammock.
yeah. Well, there you go. That was always my dream. Everybody else wanted to be a lawyer and a doctor, and I was like, I want to be at the beach. And
Yeah.
I am. Now I live at the beach. And it was so funny. This is another example about perspective, right? So I always wanted to live at the beach. I went to school at the beach, like a college that was on the beach, and I lived at the beach. And I was like, yeah, I just want to be at the beach. And and I was saying it so much as if it was a thing that was in the future that I really, I mean, I've been living here where I am now for almost like 17 years. I am 6 blocks away from the beach. I
Yes, you
literally live at the
manifested
beach.
that. Wow.
Yeah, but like I didn't even see it for what it is because to me, right, being at the beach was like ocean front on the beach, right? So you kind of, I think, want to be. Now I'm more clear. I'm like, no, no, no. I want to be on the beach like with a water view. That's what
Yeah.
I would like, the water view. That's my next thing. But I'm at the beach. So sometimes you'd be surprised that you actually have exactly what you said you wanted. You just don't see it because it's not really the way you thought it would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very drawn to the beach right now. Very, very much.
Yeah. It's a good vibe. It's freedom, and I think
Free.
because of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
moves the energy around so that you're free.
Yeah, you don't get blocked. I mean, you can get blocked, you can, but generally speaking, you'll find your way. Water always, um, finds the path of least resistance, so it will continuously move.
Yeah, I feel like what you're doing is just giving everyone who's watching this, who is very lucky, by the way, because to be getting this kind of information from Jennie is like so next level. I hope you all know what a gift you have knowing Jennie, okay?
You're so
But
sweet. I'm like, ah, that's so sweet.
yeah, but
No,
you're
this is,
giving us permission right now to feel this way, and that's the opposite of what we've been conditioned to
yeah,
do.
yeah,
That's huge. I
yeah,
feel huge.
yeah. I got all the feels. I'm telling you. This is this is I think where it's going. And I throw down cards on this. It's like, yep. And it's just that it's gonna feel uncertain. I guess that's the big takeaway, hopefully, is that you'll just be not, in the past when we were uncertain, it was up to us to figure it out, and it's like, oh, if I can just allow, and not forever. This is not passive. This is like, have you ever heard of active listening? Where you're really listening and you're reflecting back with probing questions that engage and create another energy, right? Instead of just passively listening, you're actively listening. This is like that. This is active energy. It's not passive energy. It's like active allowing.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowing,
Well, I think it
and then
shifts it up
you're
because yeah,
mindful,
like when you can accept to let I mean, when you can accept this is what came up out of my deck, the Bon Voyage card.
See? Uh,
Like if that's not validation, I don't know what else is, but it's like if we could just accept that it's okay to be on permanent vacation, the collective could get out of this uncertainty energy.
yeah. Because vacation doesn't mean chilling doing nothing. It means chilling and living in your joy. And you know what? A lot of people's joy is cooking. Some people's joy is cleaning. Some people's joy is gardening. Some people's joy is farming. So we literally could all be going back to kind of where we started in a way, which is doing these vocations that are our passion, but instead of being so concerned about getting to the top or whatever, allow the universe to. You'll see that when you go in, when you step into this energy, it's taken care of for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's manifesting, but I would say possibly this is like, I mean, it isn't about Gucci bags anymore. No offense, Gucci, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's with this. It's that's done. It's
It's done,
over.
and it's funny you say that because I saw a girl on go on one of the reels, and she was talking about like the Gucci. She was talking about the designer bags, and she was kind of making a point that like I don't know, almost trying to stick up for them, and I feel like at that moment when she's trying to stick up for these designer handbags, that's when you know they're out. That's when you know they're gone.
Yeah.
'Cause the other point, none of her other points made any sense. And I was like, yeah, they're out. They're on the way. They're completely gone and
Oh,
nobody
but you know
cares.
what I just thought of? I just thought of this. Oh my gosh. So I think though, oh, yeah, this is where the choice comes in. Okay. It's not going to be for everybody. Some of us are going to say what we've just said. And someone like hers, she's going to be like, no, this is where it's at. It's going to still mean something to her.
But, but I think the comments are going to mirror back to her the truth.
Well, the truth is subjective, I
Well, it's
find.
going to show her that it's like that no one
No, but
cares, I think.
she'll see that at least half the people don't
The,
care. Yeah, I do
yeah, the
think we're gonna
reality
start
of
to
it. Yeah.
see that there's a huge chunk of people who would watch this show are going to be the ones that are like, yeah, that's done, it's over. But there are people who would never ever tune into something that said psychic chat, and they may still go that way. And I do think that's where you get the new earth. Have you ever heard like the new earth? They said it's going to split. Like there's going to be we're all on the planet, but we're just on different frequencies, just not seeing each other because one's going to just not seem important or valid to each
That
other. Like
happened already. That just happened 3
yeah,
days ago.
it's, I was going to say the split's going to get bigger.
So it's gonna that's I actually just read on that on the angels here. So it's pretty major what just happened literally for the collective. So we're right on that precipice at this point.
That's
Because
what Akari just said. She goes, "Aren't we already there?" Yes, we are already there. But
we did. We made the leap.
yeah.
We're not in the old paradigm anymore. It's gone. And so it like my guide showed me it as like completely dead. Like it was gone. I was like, what happened to the earth? We're a new earth now. So basically now the whole collective is coming together and we have to attune to new energies and vibrations, and so everybody has to attune. It's no more of the
Oh,
yeah,
so
it's
you're
like
saying choice is over? Like,
choice is already over. Yeah, it already
oh,
ended. Yeah, it ended 3 days ago. I
so
looked
what's
at
gonna
the
happen?
earth
What's gonna
and it wasn't the same anymore.
So okay, Akari says in human design it's happening in 2027. So it could be that it's done, but it's humans aren't going to catch up with it for the next. It's going to still take maybe a few years.
So yeah, the collective is now joined together officially now. So we would be feeling all of the heavy energies of the collective as one. So now we haven't separated in this new earth energy. We haven't separated and we won't separate. It's going to be us releasing, release, 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 release. And so as we
Releasing.
release, the lowest collective energy who's in singular mode and not collective mode, they would leave the planet because they can no longer survive in the collective energy.
Okay, so yes, I get that. Like, so Akari's saying we're going from fear-based to a more creative space. And that's right. I guess so. This makes sense with what you're saying, Amy, is like if you're not going to be creative enough to make new solutions and have new ways of doing things,
Yeah,
you're
because it's
not going
not
to
about
be
singular
here.
energy anymore. It's the
Mm.
collective. So if you're not in the collective energy, you can't survive on the planet anymore, is what it was saying in the reading.
This is where I would put up a big giant emoji like this
It
if I had
was
that
it was
tech
crazy,
going.
but it's like that's why so many people have left the planet already.
Mm.
Because we made the jump just now. So this is the rest of it. So everybody's coming together now. Everybody's together. We're in collective. So yeah, if you are in singular mode and in me land, you will not be able to thrive in the energy.
Interesting. And sad, because I feel like this
It
is
is
such a
sad.
healthy, this
It
is
did
such a
feel sad.
healthier energy. This is a better energy.
Yeah,
It's
it's like they
interesting.
can't see past themselves. They can't join in any way. They can't see past that. Then they end up, it feels like the energy like falls because the other energy is too strong together.
That's amazing. So Kari says, I was wondering why so many people have passed this holiday season. Wow. Well, there you go. Like, I guess that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very interesting. Yeah, you have to be part of. Yeah, it's going to be all like solution collective based. Yeah, no, it's not about ourselves anymore. Our
Yeah, radical
consciousness
acceptance
changed.
of others. I think everybody gets to be unique and different, and not so that they become another skyscraper, but so that we just are more, everybody's building their little two-story and working together, actually working together, not
Yeah,
working. Yeah. Wow, this is going to be so interesting. So
it's
I do want to
pretty
be mindful
big
of the
what just
time.
happened. We just had like a tower, and then we're
Mm.
gonna it feels like the a lot of the heavier energies right now, according to the collective reading I just did on my channel on Truth Warrior, it was saying that the divine masculines, the more stubborn divine masculines, they're gonna have opportunities this year to shift, but if they don't awaken, they don't awaken. That's what it
That's a
feels like.
moment.
It's like
We just had a moment of silence for them.
I know. It's like
We
there's
just went,
three groups. It looks like it's three groups. It's like a group in March and April, like Well, it feels like March, and then it feels like May, and then it feels like August is the last group.
Amazing. That's okay. I heard something about August too. I don't know what the, maybe it was
Yeah,
on
it's a
your
big
channel.
turning point. So by the time the collective gets into September, I think you will see these divine masculines no longer thriving anymore. They're kind of moving in their own path.
Well, we're gonna have to leave that for another show because that's like so heavy right now. I'm like, oh my God, this, I know what that
I
means.
know it's so heavy. I know it's so weird. It's not heavy. It's heavy
It's
on the
not heavy.
collective right now.
It's not heavy, but it's like deep. Like that's, oh my God, like that's, we're gonna see some radical passings, I suppose, because there's still a lot of that energy around. I want to thank everyone for coming. I see we have Sarah and Barbara and Melania, Anthony. Thanks, guys. Thank you for coming. As we get better with this platform, we'll just get more really cool conversations like this. Thank you, Amy, for
Absolutely.
coming.
Yeah, absolutely. This was awesome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, have a really good rest of your day, and we hope to see you soon. Make sure you follow CNADHD and spiritualish.tv. All right. Bye. Now I get to figure out how to turn this off.